Hey, everybody, welcome to HabNormals Centers. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the Habs centers and specifically mostly about Nick Suzuki, but also about how this center position might shake out for next season. We are going to talk about Laine and Laine, a combination that is really working out so far, especially on the power play. So we're going to talk about those two guys and others. And we have something that happened to us today that's really cool, and we want to talk to you guys about it. And that's all right here on HabNormals, and it starts right now.
Swagger down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die.
That's a catchy tune. I like the tune you use for that.
It is.
I don't know what it is about it. And it's called, by the way, if anybody wants to know, that's called Girl on Top. And I think that might be why I kind of like it as well. All right. So I'm here with my regular co-host and partner over here on Talking Habs, Matt Norton. And we are going to talk about a bunch of things. But first, if you hadn't heard, Brendan Gallagher and his wife, newlyweds, they just got married this summer, and they have announced that they are having a baby. I don't know exactly
He's
when.
now Galadad.
But yeah, he's going to be Galadad. And it brings up the question, was it a shotgun wedding? I don't know. I just, inquiring minds
Or
want to know.
Daniger.
No, I mean, or this is a honeymoon baby. Already, though, scouts are lining up. Waiting for the news whether this is a girl or a boy. So depending if it's a girl, the PWHL is listening, and the NHL is listening if it's a boy. Sign them up right away. Apparently, the first ultrasound, you could see the impression, you could see a logo of the Habs logo. Apparently, I don't know if it's true, but that's the rumor.
Happened to be right over where the heart's supposed to be, which no one, Brendan Gallagher, not surprised.
That's right. The heart is a Habs logo. But yeah, Gally and his wife are having a baby. So congratulations, Brendan.
Absolutely.
And is it Elise, Mary Elise, something like that? I don't know her name.
I don't know either.
It just, I did, and then it's gone. But congratulations to them. All right. So how was your week?
Yeah, it was good, man. Just chilling, doing my thing. Watched a lot of hockey. Very, very excited with the hockey I've watched too. We'll obviously get into it, but I think the Habs have really played some fantastic hockey. The past 4 or so games, like really, really fantastic hockey.
As a matter of fact, I just realized that I forgot to do some of my homework for this game, and that is the Habs 3 stars of the week. So what I'm going to do, because I don't offhand know what games the schedule. It's going to look at the schedule, and we'll tell you the games that were since we did our last show. So we are right here. Last week was the Ducks on Monday, which was a 3-2 win for Montreal. In the shootout, they played the Capitals on Saturday. Was a 4-2 loss, and if that was the game. The refs were bad in that game. I don't remember now. That wasn't the refs' bad game, was it? Yeah, the refs. Actually, yes, the refs were instrumental in 2 of those Capitals goals. I'm confusing it because they did the same thing with the Rangers the last game, and for a second I went, "Oh, was that the Rangers game?" It was both. They also played the Nashville Predators last Thursday and won 3-0, and so really good game for Montreal. Sam Montembeault played all 3 of those games. And he was really good, even in the loss, because I don't blame him for that.
Yeah, I mean, Monty's in prime form right now. I mean, he really is. He's seeing everything well. His reactions have been good. He's been quick to pucks. His rebound control has been better. But yeah, he's the past week and a half, he's been very, very good. And again, I think it has something to do with being named to Team Canada. I think that was a confidence booster for him, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
And, obviously adding Patrik Laine to the team too, I think just was a big boost for the whole team in general. But yeah, I mean, I think Sam Montembeault is playing the best hockey he's played in a while.
Yeah, I think he's. I kind of think Monty's been pretty good all year in
Mhm.
almost every single game he's been in. There's been one or two where he was off, but the difference for me is the defense is playing a little better
Mhm.
overall in the 60-minute game, and I think he's thriving behind a better defense.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
I think
No,
all
for
of these
sure.
things, and you can get a look at, because it's mentioned so many times about him, right? And we've said it, you and I both, right? The defense in front of him is not great. When he gets that defensive support in front of him, he's going to be awesome. And in those games, his numbers are like off the charts good. To be honest.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. I mean, a shutout and two. I think he's 3-1 in the last 4 games with like a one. Was it like a 190, a 191 goals against, and a
That was funny. I saw the stats this morning.
percentage too. Wait,
I
and
saw the stats this morning. I should have downloaded the thing I saw, but they're awesome numbers. That's all I can say. I think a 944 save percentage,
yeah, like a 192.
187 goals against, I
Yeah,
think.
and
Something like
obviously
that.
3-1 with the shutout against Nashville.
Yeah,
Which,
that's
yeah, I
I'm
mean, it
just
is Nashville, but
homestead.
still, I mean, he was fantastic that whole game.
Yeah.
Really was.
Yeah, he's been fantastic for the whole homestand, I think. Against the Islanders was the first game of the homestand last week, which we already talked about, but that was a 2-1 overtime win. And he's just been great. Like I said, when he's on, Monty is as good as anybody. And you know what? Now you don't laugh and don't come at me when I said as good as anybody. He's a top 10 NHL goalie when he plays like that. And the proof is in the fact that he's number 7 in the league currently at goals saved above expected.
Mhm.
So, you take a stat like that, and that means something. The bad goalies don't, like Caden Primo's goals saved above expected is -8 or something like that. He's in the minus. So yeah, that's an important stat. So Monty is to me a legitimate, number one goalie. Maybe not on every team, but
Oh,
he's a
this
legitimate
I
number
can
one.
think of a bunch of teams that'd probably rather have him in net than what they got.
Right. So yeah, and there's a couple of teams that there's goalies that are better than him,
Right.
but I mean, Monty at 28, he's got a good number of years left in his career. I think he's gonna prove everybody wrong who thinks that he is just garbage or, not a real number one goalie. I think he's gonna prove everybody wrong. I don't know how did we get stuck on Monty?
Mhm.
All right, since okay, the 3 games I mentioned, what did you think? What did you think of those games?
Well, I think first and foremost, and we'll get into this later, based off the title of the video, but I mean, to me, that first power play unit stuck out in all the games. Since Laine's been added to the lineup, I mean, it's a cheat code at this point.
Yep.
It just crazy puck movement and to have a top 3 shot in the league like that, on a power play unit with a top 7 shot in the league, in Cole Caulfield is just it's just crazy to have. And I mean, they've had three goals now, that unit. It's literally the same 3 guys too, which I think is hilarious. on all 3
on
goals.
the power play, timed with Laine, his first game of this homestand, they put Lane Hutson as the QB1, for the first unit, right, the quarterback. And you were telling me that, right, that the percentage has gone up 2%?
Yeah, the percentage gone up 2% in the last 4 games.
So, instantly a decent to good power play that Montreal already had is getting better. And with the options that there are in that on that first unit, I mean, it's not that it's unstoppable, but it's about as unstoppable as they come in the NHL. I think it's going to prove out to be that. So far in these 4 games, it has. It has.
Yeah, I mean, it really has, and again too, I think it's like I've said all season, it's a lot to do with Lane Hutson's ability, his vision, his ability to move the puck around,
Yeah.
see what's going on, and just moving the puck a lot more and shooting more when they have an open shot. And I think with Mike Matheson, they didn't really do that a lot. I felt like they were kind of
No.
just passing a lot more, but now, again, as we said, with Laine on one side, Caulfield on the other, and Hutson at the controls, I mean, it's really been pass, shoot, pass, shoot.
Yeah, because they
And
can't key on one. They can't try to key on one shooter anymore, right? So you're already
Right.
down one guy. Your defense has to kind of split up a little bit more. I mean, it leaves these two guys with a lot more options and probably a lot more time, or give me a lot more like good solid looks.
Yeah, well, I mean, Laine's first goal, when he got the puck, he had enough time to read the paper and have a cup of coffee and then shoot. I mean,
Yeah, the
it's
first
crazy.
two, because
Yeah.
the first two, both times, he didn't one time. He corralled the puck, he stopped the puck, did a quick that, and then shot. Right? Well, that's an extra second. And still the goalie, both times, did not see the puck till it was past. He saw it going past him. Arm not even up yet,
Right. Yeah. It's crazy to watch those slow-mos because both
crazy.
times the goaltender's looking right at him, clear view, but the puck's in the net before, as the arm's coming up to make the stop. You can't stop that. You can't.
Most guys, you can't. If you take that extra second and then shoot, you're giving that goalie the chance, that time that he needs to get set. Caulfield can do it, shooters like that, and obviously Laine.
Yeah.
So obviously, that's huge. That's just huge for our power play.
Yeah, and not even that too, but Nick Suzuki's also a hell of a control guy too, and it just again in terms of if Lane Hutson's under pressure, he can dump it to Suzuki, and Suzuki can kind of control play a little bit. Lane Hutson can get space to get open, get the puck right back to him. It's a hell of a power play unit. It really is.
All three of those guys have for Laine's 3 goals. That's been the hookup. So, like you said, a cheat code. That's the cheat code. The cheat code is Laine from either from Hutson or Suzuki, and Hutson. You type that in, and you're getting a goal. That seems to be how it is.
It's just great, and just the chemistry those guys have already. Just the speed that they move with on that power play. Even the goal against the Ducks, Hutson got it to Suzuki, and Suzuki the whole way is looking at the goalie, but Laine's just sitting there waiting. He knew it and fired that pass right over. And
that was a one-timer, yeah.
You go again, having a guy like Laine who even still, even if he didn't one-time it, is skilled enough to catch a pass like that where it's fired at him. Take the second to corral it and then fire it. It's crazy. And I think
this is the thing, right? That Suzuki, the last game, the pass came in hard and he one-timed it with accuracy and velocity, and there's not a lot of guys in this league that can do that.
That was a rocket. He blasted that thing.
Yeah, there's not a lot of guys that can fire it in that accurately. And I heard someone say, and from that angle as well. It wasn't the best angle. He was
he was almost on the boards.
And so there's not a lot of guys that can do what he does, right? So this power play is going to be, when we have teams coming in and they got a 28% power play. Well, that's what Montreal is going to be like. Going to be one of those teams with a top power play like that.
Yeah, and look, I think I speak for both of us too. We see teams coming in with bottom 20 penalty kills. I'm going to be licking our chops. You know what I mean? Because if you have a penalty kill like that, you're in big trouble.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you're, who was it that had at one point 66% on the
I think
PK?
It was the Islanders PK.
Islanders, and there was another team, Nashville too. There was another team. No, Nashville, I don't think it was them, but there were 2 teams we played in 1 week, and they both had that. Yeah, you got to be salivating going up against a team that can't defend on the PK.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
their numbers coming down.
Well, I think it was evident on the Islanders when was it Polak or Pollock? literally gave Patrik Laine like 10 feet of ice on either side of him to corral the puck and shoot. It's like, if that's your penalty kill, you're in for a long night. Long night.
But I mean, we only got the one goal till overtime, so it's not.
Oh, right.
The defense was good.
No, it was, but again, still, just like in general, like if your power plays like that, or your penalty kill is like that, and you're playing against the Habs, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble. Yeah, don't take penalties in that case. Like, we hear that a lot, or have over the last few years. Montreal better not take penalties tonight. Well, we're going to be coming into town, or they're going to be playing against us here, and that's going to be advice that they're going to be getting. Don't take penalties tonight. That's for sure.
Right, and actually, I'm glad you kind of brought up, that kind of advice about, for the Habs not taking penalties against teams, and this year, haven't really been worried when we take penalties because we have the number 7 penalty kill in the league right now.
Yes, you're right.
Which is crazy to think about, right? Like, I know, obviously this season hasn't gone really quite as I think we've expected, but for me, a massive plus is how much better the special teams are. It's almost night and day. I mean, the PK's top 10 in the league. It's been phenomenal all year. The power play has been in the top half of the league all year, and it's getting better now. Obviously with Laine on there, I mean, Marty St. and I don't know who's in charge of the PK, but just Marty St. Louis on the power play clearly is got something working right.
Isn't it Robida? Was that our?
Is it Robida on the PK? Whoever it is doing
the coach. Job. So yeah, it's him. Yeah. That's the name, right? It's Robida. Yeah, no, listen, and a lot of people were saying both coach St. Louis being not a rookie anymore, but never coached anywhere, and Robida not being a coach in the league at that point, and giving them shit how bad our PK and our power play are, and then this year. It's way improved. And you know what? You never hear them get credit for that.
Yeah.
That's a disappointment to me as a fan to not hear the other fans acknowledge the fact that those coaches that you were, the words like, giving a shit about, why they're not doing their job, they should, whatever. Well, when it's going well, how come they're not getting, the credit for that? I don't get that. But
right. I mean, I think a lot of fans will kind of point out the players and whatnot, but and it is partly the players, but the coach has to draw up that power play and draw up the plan and game plan.
Here, the power play was better. It wasn't a shitty power play.
No, it wasn't. It was still top half of the league.
So I'm just saying. So it was a good power play. It was back to a good power play, and then Laine got here, made it even better. But the PK's
been I think top 10 in the league all year.
Except for a few games. They've had a few games where the PK
hovering around 83, 84%. Really, really good number on the PK.
Yeah. They're at about 83%, that's a good PK. And then when you got a power play and a PK that are adding up to, the totals are over 100. So we got a 22 or 23% power play, and then the 83% PK, and you're at 106. Well, that's a good special teams.
Mm-hmm.
Now your special teams is good. Winning teams have special teams that add up to those numbers.
Yeah, and look, the 5-on-5 play will get better, but the fact that the special teams have improved that much, once the 5-on-5 play gets better, I mean, the Habs are gonna be a hard team to beat. I mean, they really are.
That's when the rebuild is basically over, when everybody's in place and everyone's developed at where they need to be, and those things are going to change, and slowly it is changing, right? And as we get a little closer to the end of this rebuild, hell, you know what? I'm even of the mind that when I see what's going on, a rebuild is usually 5 years. I don't think there's been one that's been less a successful rebuild. Maybe we get the first one that's 4 years. I could see that. If everything breaks right, and things have to break right. But if it does, and it's starting to look like it might, maybe we get that. I mean,
Look, even right now, with how close the East is, and we're only 4 points out of a playoff spot. Now, we're not making the playoffs, but I mean, the fact that we're basically right there, still in the mix, and there's still a lot of issues with this team. It's like
Well, the East.
So you go into this offseason, you're going to have money to spend. Demidov's coming in. I mean, there's a strong chance we're going to be pretty damn competitive next season. You know, if things fall the right way.
I don't think there's a good chance. I think I would think, that season we thought would happen this year. I kind of think that happens next year when Demidov is here. But the key is going to be something we're going to talk about actually soon, and that's the center position, and that's the second line center. Good teams that win cups, that win championships, that win divisions, win conferences. Second line needs to score like in the 100-goal range for the year. Montreal's on pace for 25 goals off that second line. You're not winning.
It might be a little higher now that Patrik Laine is playing on it.
It might go. It'll be, but I mean, right now, it's on pace for that. At best, even with Laine, so it may get to 50, but that's half of what you need.
Right.
So the second line, center position is going to be a problem if Kirby Dach doesn't recover the confidence he needs in his rebuilt knee by the end of the season.
It was really good to see him score. Did he score? Was it again? It was the Ducks.
Yep.
That kind of empty net. I mean, it was really good to see him score that. Oh, I think it was a case again. He needed to see that go in to get.
He knew that too.
That monkey off his shoulder. Yeah.
You saw the reaction.
Oh yeah.
He's basically like, "Oh my God, thank you." He was just so relieved. So let's see how that goes.
I mean, Slavkovsky too. I think getting the assist on that too. I think again, it was good for Slavkovsky because he'd been kind of struggling for a little.
For both of them.
Yeah.
But Slav's not playing on a rebuilt knee that you got to find your confidence.
Right. Well, no, exactly.
And it's clearly that, to me, it's clear that's the problem with Dach, is that he doesn't have the confidence in his knee yet.
Mm-hmm.
So you're playing like that. You're playing what you're kind of don't want to get hit, especially in certain situations. It's too much in his brain. Like he's thinking about it too much, and that will affect your play. When that happens, that he finds that confidence, I think he'll show that he's that Dach from 2 years ago and not this guy.
Okay.
But if he can't convince the management by the end of this season, we could have changes down the middle. So that'll get us in. That's a good segue into our main topic of the day. And our main topic of the day is kind of two things. And one is an argument to be made, that needs to be made for Nick Suzuki as a number one legitimate NHL center, not just a Habs number one center, but a number one center, name a team. Sure, I'm not going to name him over McDavid, but if McDavid wasn't there in it, well, could he be? You know what I mean? That's what
they have Draisaitl too.
So you're going to look at it and go, well,
but there's a lot of teams that are like that.
Right, you can't unseat certain guys, but in most NHL teams, he would be a number one center.
I mean, you just think about teams even the Wild, right? I think the Wild he'd be a number one center in the Wild with Kaprizov.
There's a bunch of teams. Yeah,
there really are. I mean, there are. I mean, even obviously some of the crappier teams, but again, there's a lot of really good teams too that I think would play him right up there. Like Minnesota, I think would be a team like that. Yeah, a team like maybe even Seattle or a team like.
Yep. Okay, so but to make the argument, here's what I got. Ever since he's been the number one center, which is after the cup run, the next season he was the number one center on this team. Here's the guys that have played behind him. I'll leave out Monahan, and I'm going to leave out Kirby Dach in that first season that we had him, because I'm sorry, but Kirby Dach showed a lot of promise, and legitimately on that team was the second line.
I mean, even last year too.
He was playing wing then, Actually, so
wing.
Monahan, literally, Sean Monahan was the only legitimate top six center that we had here in the last 3 years to play behind Nick Suzuki. Laurent Dauphin, Christian Dvorak, Jake Evans, Cedric Paquette, Rem Pitlick, Ryan Paling, Lucas Vedimo. I won't rename people. Chris Tierney, Alex Newhook. And this year, Lucas Condata played enough games there that you can list him. None of these names make you think of top 6 center, really. None of them. I can't think any of these names that I read out other than Sean Monahan you'd think of as a top 6 center right
I mean, could argue Dvorak, like when he was with the Coyotes.
Not a top 6
center. Since he's come to the Habs, no.
But even with the Coyotes, he was a better as a third line center.
Mm-hmm.
So point being, Nick Suzuki has never played on this team with a second line behind him, which means the other team can key on that first line. Top defenders, top players. Nick Suzuki every game plays against their best defenders and their best players, and has come up to the point where he is this year point-a-game player right now, 28 games, 29 points. He is a plus player, the only plus player on the team at +2, on a team that has a 22 as the differential between goals for and goals against. Those are good numbers. Imagine if Nick Suzuki had a guy behind him playing second line center who is as good as him or maybe even a little better. And what do you think his numbers would be? And how, like, it's ridiculous to not look at that or to look at that and then someone say, yeah, but, you know, he's a number 1 in Montreal, but that's about it. Like, that's ridiculous. He gets no respect for it. And I think he's a legitimate number 1 center.
No, without a doubt. And look, you know, I want to add a couple more things too. If you look at every season he's been in the NHL, even the shortened season, if you prorate that out to 82 games, he's gotten at least 20 points better every season.
No, that's not exactly true.
Well, not 20, but he's improved by double digits every season.
Yeah, but even that doesn't matter. It's the fact that every year he has gotten better, and the numbers are right.
Right.
That you see that progress up through there. And he's 25 still?
No, 26. 4?
I think he's 25 now. So he's still a year, 2 years away from being in his prime. So you know, and next year we got Ivan Demidov.
You're right, he's 25.
We got Ivan Demidov coming in, so he'll have I think Ivan Demidov is going to be their winger, or he'll be the second line winger, whatever. But that's going to improve the team. So Montreal needs to find a second line center to play behind Nick Suzuki.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be of the same. He's got to be at least as good, and he could be better. Even if we get somebody who's better, Nick Suzuki is still our number 1 center. I don't think anybody talks.
I mean, he's the captain too.
Unless we get Connor McDavid. I'm not going to say that guy from the blue team there down the highway from me. I'm not, because if they get him, I'm like, I don't know what to do. But you know, it depends on who we would have. But we're not going to get those guys. So even if they draft a guy, even if they are able to trade for a guy that you could consider a little bit better than Suzuki, it doesn't
have somebody in the system.
It doesn't unseat him. And the reason for me is that we haven't seen his best yet. So we could say, well, that guy's better. Do we really know that until he gets freed up a little bit?
I want to add, too, I don't think Nick Suzuki's ever missed a game.
He hasn't. He's our Iron Man. 400.
I think, who was it? Slav was asked about it the other day. It was, I think it was Slav, but he's like, yeah, he's like made out of titanium. They can't, nothing
he's
hurts
our
him.
Iron Man. 401 games and counting so far. I hope we haven't jinxed it. I never like to do that. But yeah, he doesn't miss games. He doesn't take nights off. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. He has the odd night off. But sometimes we think he's got a night off, but he's just got to work that much harder defensively on that, you know, because there's nobody else. Kind of, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, I've been saying it for a long time. So has Matt. and against the grain, I guess, about Nick Suzuki being a legitimate number one NHL center, but I don't think you can deny that anymore.
No, I mean, what more do you want out of the guy? He doesn't miss games. He's a point a game guy. Plays both ends of the ice very, very well. What the hell more? He's a power play producer. What the hell more do you want him to do? It's just at that point where I'm like, what do you want him to be, like fucking Superman or some shit? Like, I don't know.
Well,
you want to get your cat out of the tree? He'll probably do that. No problem.
He probably can do it well. He does everything well. He literally, his game, he does almost literally everything.
And he's a great leader too. I think that also needs to be taken into account. I mean, he's one of the youngest, if not the youngest captains in the league, but I think he's also one of the better captains in the league. Yeah, I just think he's so mature for his age and just gets so many leadership qualities on and off the ice that
he's so involved in this team. He helps make decisions on players, you know that, and he said he wanted that. He wanted to be involved in that. Just when they're thinking about guys and what they're going to do, they actually talk to him about it. And I love that. I love that this guy is that involved in the team. He's that committed to it. He lives here year round now. He's just that.
I think Caulfield does too. I think he and Caulfield have been living year round in Montreal for a little bit now.
Yep. And why does he? Patrik Laine probably will too. I mean, he'll go back home at times, obviously, but I wouldn't be surprised if he buys a home to stay here, to be here a lot in the summer.
I think Slav is there a lot in the summer too. I mean, we know he does go back to Slovakia from time to time, but I think he's.
But it's the thing. This is a well-bonded team, and I like that part of this team. I mean, there's been championship teams that maybe weren't as friendly and as bonded, but I don't know. I think it's a big part of their identity here in Montreal, what they're building here.
It really is the power of friendship.
These guys love each other. These guys legitimately love each other.
Oh yeah,
care about each other and play for each other. And
1,000%.
Boy, when they're fully developed and this team the rebuild's done, that's going to be a huge thing. That attitude that's there that this group has. And anybody else comes in is going to be brought right into that, as evidenced of Laine, because that's what happened with him, right? They brought him right in to the fold. They're doing it with David Reinbacher currently. Mm-hmm. He's out with this season-ending injury, but he's being involved in everything, everything that these guys do, and that's going to be big down the road. All right, let's back because we talked about the center. Let's talk about this other topic around the centers, and that is now I got this from an article I read from a writer that I really love that covers the Habs, Brian Wild, and he's talking about how Nick Suzuki, more than likely, unless Kirby Dach gets his act together as far as responding to the knee and getting his game back on track, will probably be the only center that's on the team this season that will still be in the same spot that he's in next season. It doesn't mean we're trading away all the centers, but Christian Dvorak is not coming back.
No, he's gone. I mean, Jake Evans in a perfect world's on the third line at third
Jake
line
Evans
center.
in a perfect world, they resign, but I don't know. I'm hearing arguments for both. I like arguments for both because he may overprice himself.
I mean, he very well may, but if they can re-sign him, I mean, I think that's a really, really good bottom six center there.
100%. But okay, my point, the point of the article, and I agree with this, is if Kirby Dach doesn't cement that spot, right? So he's you're not going into next season with Kirby Dach as your second line center. You're not trading away Kirby Dach. I'm not saying that, but he has to drop down.
You're going to have down or play the wing center, right? Like same thing with Newhook. Newhook's not. I'm sorry, Newhook can't be playing center anymore.
Or you're putting him on the wing. But you're going to have Demidov there. You got Slav. You're going to have to drop Newhook down. You're right. I don't think Newhook's a center. So you're going to want Dach and Newhook playing together on the third line. Right? So you got that hole still at center. Jake Evans could drop down to the fourth line, but if he's going to sign for $2.5-3 million, it's a little much for your fourth line center.
Yeah, but I mean, still in that case, I think you can play Evans on the third line. If Owen Beck's ready, there's your fourth line center.
Owen Beck would be the fourth liner, but You may be right that that Evans
You know what I mean? I mean, it's an option, right? And I think it's certainly a plausible option there because again, I think they love Jake Evans a lot. You know, I mean, obviously, I love him a lot. Being a Notre Dame guy and just what a great guy he is off the ice. But yeah, I mean, I think the team does love Evans. I think they'd love to bring it back.
I'm not criticizing Evans in any way. This is not to do that, but it's a business thing.
Right.
They have guys that will cost less that even if they want to look outside the organization, they can bring in guys to fill Jake Evans's spot for cheaper.
Yeah.
So now, as well bonded as this team is, I could see them saying, yeah, but he's part of the family. For a little bit of money, we want him here.
I mean, it's not like they're not going to have money, though, too. That's the thing. I mean, they're going to have a lot of money.
They're going to have the money. So you're right. And I'm fine with that. And if that's the case, Jake Evans either stays in that third line center, but you got to do something with Doc, or he does drop down to your fourth line center. And I'm fine with that, too, because Jake Evans is a great fourth line center. And if Jake Evans is your fourth line center and Kirby Dach is your third line center, you probably got yourself a pretty good team.
Yeah.
So,
but even still, right? Even if they say, well, Doc's not working out at center, but they play him at the wing, well, then Jake Evans is your third line center. Owen Beck's your fourth line center. I still think you got a pretty decent team.
You do, and there is that option, and I agree.
Right?
That could be the option there, and that might be what they do. But there's still now that opening. So where does that second line center come from? This is the problem, right? Because if you draft him, like say we win the lottery, we draft that. More than likely, even if he is ready to be on the team, he may not be your answer at second line center. But I mean, that's okay. You got an extra year with the rebuild.
Right.
Might be okay. But otherwise, they got to go find somebody. They literally, like, you cannot, if you're not sold on Doc by the end of this season, you can't come into next season with Kirby Dach as your second line center.
No, you can't. You can't. Look, I think, and I've actually talked about this with, we actually talked about it on the last Pucking Around podcast, for those of you who else listen to that show. Cam actually had some very good, questions for me about, how the rebuild's going and, kind of how I see things shaking out. And I kind of talked about, this could be the off season with the cap going up with, some guys coming off the books that are needed to come off the books. Could be an offseason where you see some trades, right? You see kind of some moves kind of going towards, all right, we're going to make this push now. I think this offseason makes a lot of sense. We're going to have the money to do it. I could certainly see an offseason acquisition to get someone there, probably shorter term, because I do think Michael Hage is probably taking that spot when he's ready in a couple of years. But I think you do need to bring someone in to at least hold that spot for now.
Yeah, and there's options out there. The reason I know this without actually coming up with all the names is on the Bruins podcast that I direct. They were talking about that for them, and so and it was the Flyers podcast, one of them. So they went over
probably
all
the Flyers, considering they don't have any centers behind Sean.
Right, it was probably the Flyers, and so they went over a bunch of the names from the team. So there's guys out there that Montreal could make a deal with those teams, and find a guy that legitimately could be that guy. And, they could take that chance. And in case it doesn't work out, you do have Hage possibly coming in to do that. But there's guys there that they could acquire that, you probably wouldn't be getting rid of, for Hage.
Right.
Probably,
right. No, right? And again, that's certainly a possibility. I'd be all right with that. But again, too, I think you do have to think about that possibility with Michael Hage because, for all of you out there like myself that watches a lot of college hockey, he's been one of the best players in the country this season so far.
Yeah.
He's Rookie of the Month in November. I mean, this kid's the real deal. This kid's gonna be an important part of this team going forward. Absolutely 1,000%.
And honestly, if Hage is the guy that they go, he will be the guy, but we need somebody for now. So like you say, you need somebody for 2 years.
Get a vet on a short, 2-year deal, because by that time Hage is probably here. Yeah, short
even
term.
2 to 4 years, because like if a guy's that good anyway, and you want Hage in there, you can move a guy like that, right? So it's not, but I think the point really is that even though we're still in a rebuild, and we will be next season, they're at a point in the rebuild that I don't think they can continue to go on with a second line center that isn't up to snuff.
Right. But I mean, especially since, the wings are there. I mean, the top 6 wings, I think, are in place. Right?
Yeah, for
Caulfield,
sure. Right?
Slav, Demidov, and Laine. Those are your wingers for the next God knows how many years. I mean,
barring any injuries, I don't see how you're gonna say, well, this guy goes in. No, I don't think so. Those are your guys.
Right, like 1,000%.
Without
question. It's just that center spot. Really, like we're talking about. It's that's a question mark right now. And I mean, again, I think this offseason they probably will make some moves, because I think they're at that point where they're going to want to start pushing. And we're at that point to rebuild where you got to have a bona fide guy there, because I mean you're going to have 2 bona fide wingers to play with them. They're going to need service, right? And when you have talents like Ivan Demidov and Patrik Laine, or whatever the hell combo they want to do for the top 6 wingers, I mean, those are guys that you're going to need to put a top 6 center with them to get the best out of them, right?
So, 100%. That's the reason that's one of the reasons why you need that guy in there next season, is because you've got the quality on the wings. You got to put a guy, you got to give them a legitimate chance, and you have to give them quality down the middle as well. So it's not just, well, we'll give Kirby Dach another year. Maybe it'll take, I don't know, at 4th year of your rebuild, if you're on track in that rebuild, you need that second line to be, you got to give Nick Suzuki some freedom from what he's facing every night. You've got to start.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it, right? If he's a point a game guy right now, imagine what he's like if he gets, like you said, that more freedom. Not being keyed in on as much. I mean, he could be 100-point player.
Yeah, it puts him up into that. I think into that potential now. Yeah. Now, legitimately, you look and say, Suzuki is potentially a 100-point player any season. You don't know which one, and maybe every season. Who knows? Right? There's going to be some quality here on this. Like, who knows how good it's going to be here? I know it'll be good. I don't know what their ceiling is going to be as a team, but it's going to be high. That's for sure.
I mean, with the talent that's going to be throughout the lineup, man. And with someone who I think is more than likely another generational puck mover in this league, in Lane Hutson. I mean, the sky's going to be the limit.
Yep.
And you got Logan Mailloux will be playing behind him, another kind of puck mover, offensive type defenseman. It's just crazy.
Yep.
Just the amount of talent that's going to be out throughout the lineup, and there'll be some good sides there too. Obviously, Jack Eye back there, Struble. And again, guys like Reinbacher when he's healthy, like it's going to be a really good team.
I think it's going to be a well balanced.
It really is.
Well balanced team. Yeah.
It's going to be a mean team too. This isn't going to be a team that people are going to want to mess with either.
It's going to be the kind of team that can win, legitimately can win. Let's talk about something unplanned. I guess it's two seasons ago, Montreal drafted David Reinbacher. In that draft was a Russian kid that everybody was talking about, a lot of Hab fans wanted, and of course that's Matvei Michkov. Both of us here were of the minds not to take him, and we were very vocal about that. Not that we didn't think he was going to be a good player, but a lot of it had to do with the amount of time it would take for him to get here. But legitimately, too, I didn't think he would. I don't know, something about him. I didn't think he was. I thought he was overhyped. Let's put it that way. Matvei Michkov hits the league this year, 2 years ahead of schedule. And this kid has gone on to be everything he was hyped up to be. 27 points in 27 games. No way I would have thought that. He's turned out to be probably, I hope we don't look back and say, he really should have been the guy we picked. I hope David Reinbacher is the equal to him, not points-wise, but talent-wise on defense, and does for our team what we need him to do, and that would be fine for me, right?
Right. Well, I mean, again, especially with Demidov coming in, right?
Okay, so that leads me to what I
Right.
want to say. Ivan Demidov is coming in next season. I think a lot of Michkov fans don't think Demidov is as good or will be as good, and is a little bit under that.
Alex.
No, I think there's a lot of people would
Right.
say the same
Yeah.
thing, that, I mean, they're close, but I, for one, I'm not going to come here and say that I think Demidov is better than Michkov. I'm not going to say that anymore, because Michkov has proven himself in the early run better than I thought.
Mhm.
But I think, and a lot of the experts are saying this, that when Demidov does get here, they do believe he'll hit the ground running and he'll perform a lot like Michkov's success. So, like, I'm not even sure where I'm going with that, but what do you think of that? What do you think of that right there?
No, look, honestly, in terms of the Michkov Reinbacher debate, it really doesn't bother me. I think taking Demidov last draft kind of just, when I saw that, I said, all right, there you go. Now the fans will shut the hell up, because we had our own Russian phenom coming in. I think Demidov's a more disciplined player. I think
He's bigger.
I think Demidov obviously has a bigger size. I think he is a better playmaker than Matvei Michkov, but again, I think they're very similar players, very similar talent. I think very similar ceilings.
I
And
don't know that they're similar players. I think they have different styles. That
they do. I think Demidov too is a lot more of a guy who will excel with and without the puck. If that makes sense. Like I think he's the type of guy that can.
I think that's a good point. No, I think
I
that's a good point. The one thing I'm not seeing from Michkov is away from the puck, or like I've seen him play a few times. He hasn't impressed me yet when I see him play. When I don't, though, he's putting up numbers and he's doing great things. So, and you can't deny it, obviously. But I'm a little bit like, damn it, this guy is good. What the hell? Stop being good.
Look, I mean, I'm indifferent about it. I love having talents like this in the league, and I mean, like I said, maybe Michkov was the better pick, but I mean, we got Demidov coming in. I think Demidov's just as good.
Yeah, I'll say this though, even if Reinbacher doesn't hit the ceiling that we think, at least if they missed on that, they made up for it the next year by getting Demidov.
1,000%.
So I'll say that, and maybe down the road, maybe there'll be a hitch in Michkov's game that we don't know yet, or we have, can't see yet. I don't know. I don't want to hold back.
Did get benched for a couple of games.
I don't want to hold back for the kid too. Like,
no, he's a sublime
really
player. And like I said, I mean, I love watching him play. Like I said, I love talent. When talents like this can come over to.
When I've seen him, he's not impressed me at all. I caught I guess, his bad games. It's crazy, but he hasn't impressed me at all. But I don't watch every game anyway. So for all of you guys that are out there, I think this is my point, that are jealous about the Michkov thing. Like, I wouldn't be.
It doesn't bother me at all. It really doesn't. I'll be honest.
It doesn't bother me a lot. It bothers me a little bit, but not a lot, because I'm confident in what I'm seeing from Demidov and from what I'm hearing about him, that when he gets here, we'll go, what, Michkov, who? Because at least we'll have that same kind of player. So
1,000%.
And boy, is he going to contribute.
And I mean, I'll say this too. I think we're also in better position in the long term right now than the Flyers, because I do think that we, in general, I think we have better talent on this team. When you talk about, when you talk about, their top six guys, well, it's really Konechny and Michkov that have been doing everything. They haven't really had much else. Whereas, we got guys like Suzuki, get to Hutson, Suzuki, Caulfield, Laine. Like, we got more firepower now, I think, than the Flyers do. But I think on the back end is really where our advantage is, because I don't really think they have a puck mover like we have in Lane Hutson.
No, they don't have. I don't think they have the talent in the ranks. But I mean, I don't know. Have they started a rebuild yet? Have they? I don't know.
Yeah, right. It's kind of odd, right? It's kind of like, will they or won't they?
So they're they're kind of in a different place than we are. But no, I agree. I like the talent that's here, that the potential of it.
What's the balance of it too for me? Like I said, I look at the Flyers. They don't have a puck mover like Lane Hutson. I don't think they have the depth that we do in regards to anywhere in the prospect pool except goaltending.
Nope.
I do think they have pretty good goaltending depth, but they have no centers behind
centers.
Couturier. I mean, Luchenko's a great player, but after him, they have nothing.
But now that Michkov's here, you can't really start a rebuild now.
No.
Right?
No, you can't.
Can you? I mean, you're going to waste 4 or 5 years of this kid's talent. So this is a problem, right? Michkov's on a team where I don't know that you're going to get the most benefit out of having that guy.
Like, obviously, they're winning more games. He's and he's doing his thing, and it's fun to watch. But I think in general, there's still a team that is kind of on the playoff bubble, and how long will they stay like that? Because again, and they do have a lot of picks coming up in this draft, but even if they use a majority of those, you're not seeing those guys for a couple of years. So it's like,
but either way, it's not a rebuild. They didn't break it down completely to build it back up. It's kind of more of a reset or a retool that they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the fact that we're in our 3rd year. The results are showing. I don't care what anybody wants to say. I'm not looking at the standings for results showing. To me, the results show in the players' development, the kind of players that are here, the quality of the players that are here. For me, that's what I'm saying.
Right. And again, that's not to say that there aren't quality players in Philly, because again,
of course.
Travis Konechny is a fantastic player. Obviously, Michkov has been fantastic. Some other guys there. I think Fedotov and Kolosov have really started to turn it around a bit. Cam York's been good, but I think for them too, I think one thing that's still kind of in the, they might be having some issues is with Jamie Drysdale, because he's missed a lot of time since they brought him in.
Drysdale, and he's coming from an organization that I think wasn't great in Anaheim, to be honest with you.
Right, and again, I love Jamie Drysdale. I think he's a phenomenal hockey player, but he's missed a lot of time with injury, as he has throughout his career, and I think. If he can hit his full potential, I think he could be a very dynamic puck mover, on the back end. But I just haven't really seen that yet out of him. And again, I know Alex is all about Karagoche not having a great season with Anaheim, but how long until maybe that trade bites him in the ass, or if for whatever reason Drysdale doesn't work out, like what do you do?
Yeah.
Because again, right, even if Drysdale hits his potential, I don't think he's as good as Lane Hutson. I don't think anybody would really argue me on that.
No.
But that's their puck mover, and if they don't have that, well, then now you're back to the drawing board for that. You know what I mean? Because I do think they have some good stud, kind of stay-at-home defenseman type of guys, but they don't have that dynamic quarterback puck mover, kind of on the rush type of defender.
No.
Like Lane Hutson is.
But because they don't have the benefit of doing that rebuild, right?
Right.
And also with them, they're not going to get those good draft picks that we're getting. And these are keys. So I think for, if you want to, I don't know why we're comparing Philadelphia, I guess because of Alex. But yeah, I like where Montreal is over teams like that, because it's not putting Band-Aids on position, hoping for the best. They've started from scratch again and built it up where, the talent, the depth, it's all there.
And it really is, I think, for me, a lot about the depth.
They don't have.
There's really not many other prospect pools in the league that are as deep as the Habs.
No, that's right. We're and also under 24 players. We were voted the top team for the under 24 core.
Yeah, and I think that's easy to see. I mean, even guys that we haven't really talked much about, like this year, even in Laval, like Logan Mayhew's tearing it up again. Josh Wa's been fantastic down there.
Apparently,
Adam Engstrom's been very, very
outplaying Mayhew for a couple of months, a while now. So in Adam Engstrom, which we weren't sure, apparently the kid found his game this year down in Laval completely. I guess for North America, he's scoring, playing good defense. Yeah, so there's a lot of depth there. That couple
even
of guys
that
we weren't sure about are showing that. Yeah, we got some good depth there.
Offensively too, right? Joshua Waugh, Owen Beck, I think still having a pretty good year down there.
Yep.
I haven't saw much about Philip Misha. I don't really know where he's at. But
nope.
He's another guy that's, again, it's good depth. Whatever happens there happens. But and then
some
again,
of the guys
beyond that, guys in the NCAA, Sam Harris, Michael Hage,
right?
Jacob Fowler, right? Like there's so much depth.
Yeah, a lot of depth. Now, some of those guys will just be depth over the years and won't, get regular spots. But that's better quality depth than Montreal's had in the longest time as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, even a guy like Lucas Condato or a guy like I can't remember his name, a kid from Harvard.
From Harvard, Farrell,
right? Those are guys that, they're not going to be kind of your top 6. Type of prospects, but
no, they've dropped
those are guys that, again, if you're in a pinch, whether it be injury or whatever, you can call those guys up and put them in the bottom 6 and they'll do just fine.
Yeah, you'll get a
guy like Luke Tuck. Like there's so many guys that can do that where it's, if someone were to get injured, you don't panic because you go, all right, well, you can call him up for a couple of games and he'll be fine. He'll do his job.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we haven't had depth like that. At a lot of positions too in a long time. So down the road, when you want to win a championship, well, that kind of depth is going to be like imperative almost to helping that cause. Okay, let's talk about the last thing. I'm unprepared for it. Are you prepared? I mean, I can figure it out.
3 stars of the week.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't. So we will start off with you with your 3rd star. Hang on, I got to run this. It's time for the Habs 3 stars of the week. I made it. Hey, I got to use it. All right. So the games we're talking about is the Nashville Predators win, the Nashville Predator game that we won 3-0. The Washington Capitals game, 4-2 loss, and the Mighty Ducks game on Monday, a 3-2 win in a shootout.
Yeah. For me, I think my 3rd star of the week is Lane Hutson. Again, I know he's, we kind of wanted to kind of focus on other guys besides the big names, but I can't think of a better, better player in general, but a better defenseman the past, really the whole season. I mean, he's just been phenomenal on both ends of the ice. He just set the record for a defenseman point streaks by rookie. Which is just phenomenal. I think he's at 7 games now. Just, I mean, instant chemistry with Patrik Laine, just all over the ice has been phenomenal. And Rick, like you've talked about, and we both talked about, I think he's been probably our best defender too. Like in his own end, he's right up there with Gooley, I think. And it's just a lot of the times it's just plays with his stick. He's so quick that all he has to do is just make a quick little poke check, and he's got the puck and he's gone, or he can clear it out. I saw him a few times make a few really good closeouts and just, knock pucks off players' sticks or, force some one way and like
even
just break up plays.
Even bodying him over, he's able to do that. Like he can defend. He's been there. He's definitely been at the very worst, their 2nd best defender consistently, I think, all season. And I've mentioned it a number of times that Lane Hutson is better defensively than anyone's given him credit for.
Yeah, no, I 1,000% agree with you. And again, and he's still doing it on the offensive. And I think he's their 5th fastest in NHL history for a defenseman to get to 20 assists or something like that. And then rookie something like that, something crazy. And again, his underlying numbers have been just phenomenal too. I think he's still top 3 in the league and slot passes and chance creation, rushes.
Yep.
Like it's insane how talented this kid is.
Everything he's been advertised to be, he has turned out to be.
Really, seriously. It's just he's been awesome, and he's going to be a superstar for this team. For the next decade, dozen years, something like that. I mean, he's going to be phenomenal. He's going to be a superstar, I think, in this league. Like I said, it's not crazy to think that we're going to be talking about him again in the same breath as guys like Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes in a few years, even in a year or two. Like it's
without a doubt to me,
he's right up. He's going to be right up there with them. I mean, he's that good.
Yep. I mean, he's on pace for I want to say 56 points right now without scoring a goal yet. He's on pace for 56 assists, I guess, right?
Yeah.
You
I mean, that's
throw in a
crazy.
couple of, you throw in a couple of goals. I mean, the kid might get 60 points. When I had him at 55 points, people were telling me that's a little much. That's a little much. It was before the season started. No, it's not a little much.
Especially
And
not
he's
with
getting
Patrik
that-
Laine on the power play now. I mean, for Christ's sakes, I mean, he's almost due for a power play assist a game now.
Yeah, it's exactly. So, you his numbers are going to be, point a game probably is what he's going to end up being, a point a game defenseman type of guy. Not a lot of them in this league. Not
and they're
a
going to
lot.
be majority assists. Like I said, on his best seasons, probably 15 goals. On average, probably around 10, maybe a little less, but he's going to have 55, 65
He's going to have
assists.
a ton of assists.
I mean, easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. He'll be a guy that, he'll put up 80 assists in a season.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of Bobby Orr-like type of thing, Other guys, too, have done that, but I'm just saying. All right. My third is going to be the guy I wrote about today, and I'm talking a lot about here tonight, is Nick Suzuki.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Suzuki has just been, I think, pretty steady. He's gotten some points. He's on a point streak. He on the power play, he's one of the three that is hooking up, Laine, Hutson, and Suzuki. Just consistent, great leader. Yeah, Nick Suzuki's getting my third star.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. Suzuki's been fantastic. Again, point a game guy. I think he's going to end this season, honestly, at a point a game, probably a little better.
Yeah, I predicted it too. That's another prediction.
Yeah,
like I would Hudson.
Me too. I think I said
numbers,
point a game as well.
And I think I'm going to get the numbers that Suzuki's going to put up too. 85 points is what I think I predicted. Mm-hmm. So I think he's going to get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Who's your number two?
For me, the number 2 star of the week is, again, I had him in last week too, but I got to put him in this week. It's Sam Montembeault. I think Sam Montembeault's just been in his best form this season, this past week and a half. And, again, numbers-wise, he's been one of the best goalies in the league the past week and a half. And, he's been a key cog, for this kind of little point streak we're on here. And I think he's very deserving of a second star this week.
Yeah, of the, 4 goals in the 3 games that the Habs gave up. No, 6, excuse me, that the Habs gave up. I don't know that I'm faulting him on maybe 1, and that's a maybe.
Yeah.
And, that's pretty good.
Well, I mean, just his numbers alone, too. 3-1, 1 shutout. Was it a 9.36 save percentage, something like that, with a 1.89 goals against average? I mean, he's just been fantastic. 9.44.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. That doesn't shock me when that. I would give in here tonight. I would have as an honorable mention for Sam, but my second is going to be, I'm trying to pick him now. I'm going to say Patrik Laine is my second star. Don't have to really explain that. Best shot, scores, unbelievable.
4 games, 4 points, 3 goals, and assists.
4 games, 4 points. He's good. He's going to be a
just
point
instantaneous. Go down the ice, give me puck, I shoot and score.
He's going to be a point. I think he's going to be that point a game guy that we said. Even in Columbus, he was basically a point a game guy. A little more, a little less 1 year. I mean, but it was basically a point a game for all the games there. I don't see that changing here. He's a guy that produces. He produces points. That's it. That's all. He shoots. What they asked him in one of the pressers, I don't know if it was in the preseason or in the last 4 games, something about shooting to get a rebound, and he said, "I don't do that. I shoot to score." So that you want to hear that from a guy. So,
I can tell you from experience from watching him. Yes, he does shoot to score.
He shoots to score. He doesn't shoot to get rebounds. He shoots to score. So that's my second.
1,000%. He's my first star, Patrik Laine. I think to come after missing the amount of time he missed, coming in first 4 games with the Habs, and he's already been our best player, or probably the second or third best player on the team. I mean, he's just
one of the 3 every game. Let's put it that way.
He's been phenomenal every game he's played in. I mean, the shots there, he's scoring his goals. Like, we're just right away, he's scoring goals, got the assists. I also think he's been phenomenal protecting the puck, and I think that's been an underrated part of his game throughout his career. You know, I see him all the time just holding guys off. Like, just gets in his position, sticks his ass out, and just holds guys away from the puck. Make a little nifty backhand pass just to keep things going.
And he back checks.
He does.
And he's pretty fast. Skating-wise, he's pretty fast.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, when you get the momentum he has at his size, I mean, he's like a friggin' wrecking ball out there.
He gets back.
Oh, yeah.
He makes plays when he gets, like, he's good on both sides, both ends of the ice as well. I'm not saying he's a 200-foot player, but you know what? I don't think he's that far from being considered that. From what I'm seeing of him, I'm noticing him back. He comes back in back checks.
Got a few good steals too.
Yeah.
In there, but yeah, I mean, he's just been. I can't say enough good things about him really since his season debut.
On him a lot.
It's hard really to hold back my excitement because he's just such a joy to watch, and just knowing how happy he is now in his career, like, you know, all his interviews, you know, he talks about, you know, how he's really never been happier than you know he is now in the situation with the Habs.
You see him talking about it, and he doesn't look like it, but I think he's that kind of guy where he's not like gonna jump for joy all the time. But I mean, I think he is as happy as he could be in a hockey city outside of Finland, honestly. Anyway, okay, my first is Laine Hutson. Laine Hutson seems to be involved in everything. When he's out on the ice, he's doing something. It's a rare shift that he's out there and you go, oh, I didn't know he was on the ice. It's a rare shift that he's not doing something.
I mean, it really is, right? Like when he's on the ice, I mean, you're seeing him, you know, stealing the poke with a poke check in the back end, leading the rush.
Whatever.
Or
making a dipsy
creating some sort of chance.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
He just got so many different moves and he does a lot, and you just notice him all the time.
But even that Ducks game, there was a sequence, and I know it's the Ducks, but he had the puck along the sidewall, moved in a little bit, and just made two quick moves and went through two Ducks and got a shot on goal. It's like every time he's got the puck, something positive is happening.
Yeah.
When he doesn't have the puck, he's
more
getting
often
the puck.
than not. Not every single, but more often than not, this guy's carrying the puck. Something's about to happen, or he's going to try to make something happen. It's going to look good. That's what I think.
Yeah.
All right,
But even then on the back end though too, right? When you see him in the defensive zone, he's active. He's moving his stick. He's moving his feet.
He's always he doesn't take a shift off.
Incredible.
Does not take a shift off.
No, and that's always been a thing I've loved about him. You know, he's always he's 110% effort guy. He's always going to get out there and compete and give you his all. You know, and I think that's again what makes him such a good player and so well loved by the team. And you know, and then Marty St. Louis probably took him in as another son besides Cole Caulfield.
Probably. All right, let's talk about something that's got both me and Matt very excited today.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and
big
that
update.
Is, here, not at HabNormals itself, but at Talking Habs, we have applied for our credentials from the league to possibly be able to attend games as an accredited media person.
Mm-hmm.
And what's set that off is we may be able to go to the Four Nations face-off. The games are in our cities. And we from I don't know if you guys know our Flyers podcast. One of the guys on there is a writer, a legitimate writer, accredited writer with the NHL. Yeah, he's going to help us accomplish this. Mm-hmm. So we don't know if we're going to get there, but we're really excited about being up in the press box. Him at the TD Gardens in Boston, me here at the Bell Center, for at least one or two of these Four Nations face-off games. We were talking about
not only that too, but if this ends up going through, we can
apply for
our respective teams. You can apply for the Habs. I can apply for
other things.
If we get this, it just leads to so many more awesome opportunities, and it's just
legitimizes
huge. It does.
As media people,
it does.
We're really excited about this.
It is. It's exciting, and I really couldn't be happier. I think
we'd be up in the press box with all the other writers. Apparently, this is what I heard. be up there with the writers, get to meet the writers you read all the time and you've known for a while, and be amongst them. And I'm freaking out personally, but we may be able to do this. So we'll have more information, and we're talking about it here at the end because nobody watches the end, so it won't get blown out of proportion. But yeah, it looks like Talking Habs, after 6 years in existence, is actually going to be legitimized as a media outlet. Small one, very small one, but
again,
we're going to be legitimized as media people, and I don't know, I'm freaking out.
And I think we've worked really hard, honestly, to get to this point. I know, and I know that
I have.
We would still be a small media outlet, but still, I think it's the fact that we're at this point, I think, is incredible. I mean, it really is, and I can't thank you enough for bringing me along on this journey with you, man, and getting to this point. So
thank you for helping.
Having a lot of fun, hell of a lot of fun, and I'm excited to keep doing it, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is all because of Jamie Basco, who's a writer for the Flyers Nitty Gritty, and yeah, he's a great guy, and yeah, he brought this to us. It's like, you guys interested in doing that? It's like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Where do I sign up?
Are you kidding? So yeah, hopefully you won't see us on TV, obviously, if we do this, but we'll be able to cover the game like directly from there. I'm sure we can't take video live or anything like that.
No, but just being able to take notes,
lots of pictures,
mingle with the other writers, learn some stuff. Yeah, I mean, it'll be incredible.
And network with with actual media people. Wow. Anyway, I wanted to tell you guys all this because we're really excited about it. Let us know what you think, though, in the comments. What you think about that. And anything else that we have said here in this podcast, as always, where to reach us, our emails, all that stuff is down in the description, or you can leave a comment when you're watching this video. And that's it. I don't know. You got any last thoughts besides that?
No, I mean, again, just another really fun week of Habs hockey. And, again, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season, man. It's going to be fun. And obviously now with, this news about, applying to get credentialed. I mean, the Four Nations face-off just got that much more exciting.
Yeah.
Right? To
oh my God.
be able to be in the building, be up in the press box.
We can get into the dressing rooms. Oh my God. Oh my God.
The media scrums after the game, getting some quotes for you guys. I mean, it's going to be super exciting.
So we're going to try.
I hope we get it. It's going to be fun.
We're going to try.
It's going to be a new, fun and exciting era in Talking Habs, really.
Yes, a new era in Talking Habs history.
It's gonna be great.
All right, that's it for us here. Thanks everybody for watching us. We do appreciate it. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already. We'll be back next week after Pittsburgh, Winnipeg, and back home for Buffalo. Those are the games next week that we'll talk about, and other things. And that's it. Till next time, stay safe out there. Peace out, everybody. And have a great one. Ciao, everybody.
Later, peeps. Go Habs, go.
Swagger down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die.